An unbelievable story out of Calgary. It occupies the front page of the Calgary Sun today. A pair of Iraqi perverts convicted child molesters, and we can't get them out of the country. One of them, Ramadan Sadullah Abdullah, he's convicted of preying on a preteen victim. He was sentenced to 45 months in prison. He's been detained since February 2011, but then was granted release by the Immigration and Refugee Board earlier this week. Katab Ismail, convicted of raping a young boy, sentenced to 7 years in prison, ordered out of Canada in April 2010, has been detained since March 2012, costing taxpayers $224 a day. Richard Kurland is an immigration lawyer, policy analyst out of Vancouver. The man knows more about the immigration system than anyone I know. So, Richard, I thought of you immediately. Why can't we get these bums out?
Well, you know, we can't get these individuals out of Canada because of lack of political will, inertia, and an absence, frankly, of common sense creativity. What we should be doing is telling the government of Iraq, you want Canadian benefits, cash, toys, things that will come and flow from Canada to Iraq to improve your economy? Well, guess what? Those things are now bundled up with the taking back of your own citizen under your own law.
That's the problem right now, right? Is that Iraq will not take them back. Lisa White is with the Canadian Border Services Agency. She says Canada does experience difficulties in removing people to some countries because they refuse to accept their citizens, notwithstanding their international obligations to do so. So does... it's not Chris Alexander, the immigration minister, but does the public safety minister basically need to put the Iraqis in a headlock and say, take these guys or you're going to lose some benefits?
Yeah, they have an embassy in Ottawa. You call in the senior official, explain how things work here in Canada. I mean, we used to be creative. I remember in Brazzaville, the escort people from Canada to that country paid $50 to a border guard and forced the deported person to cross the river into the destination country. We don't have to resort to that sort of thing, but why not try the front door? Iraq doesn't deny that the fellow here in Canada is a citizen of Iraq. What's the holdup?
So could we just put them on a flight, send them with a guard, put them on a flight to Iraq, and then as soon as we land, hey, there you go, and have our guys walk away?
Beginner's error, because when that was tried, we ended up in some Tom Hanks kind of movie where a guy gets stranded in limbo.
I really don't care what happens to him as long as he's not in Calgary. One of these guys was released by the Immigration and Refugee Board. He's wandering the streets of Calgary. That is unacceptable.
Well, I think the IRB may want to look a little more seriously given the gravity of the offense and starting to electronically bracelet individuals like this as a matter of standard operating procedure. It's not fair to Canadian society to have our good Canadians take the risk of a foreign national convicted of a pedophile-related offense free in our streets.
So these gentlemen obviously are not Canadian citizens because they have been ordered deported. That's essentially how it works. They are either refugee claimants, but their cases haven't gone through, or they're permanent residents of some type, and then they're convicted. That means you're bounced, right?
Yeah, maybe we don't know how they got here. We know they are here. We know they're not supposed to be here, and the challenge is getting them out. And that should not be a terrible thing. In the past, Canada has had to wait 10 and 20 years to ultimately remove someone. Either they're a convicted skyjacking terrorist, or they were, for example, related to Vietnamese gangs, and Vietnam would never take them back. Governments change, policy change. Canada will not be a sanctuary to convicted criminals like this, but our challenge is how to get them out of the box.
Well, hopefully we find a way. Otherwise, it erodes the faith in the system for those that follow the rules. Richard, good talking to you as always.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.